It's cocktail time. It's not cocktail time. It's just a beer. Yes, yes, Rascal and Disco beer review with me, Disco, coming at you with another beer video from in front of the cans and bottles. Here in the bar, I'm still favourably calling the Disco Arms. Fancied a quick afternoon beer, something fruity, so I reached into the stash and pulled out this a fruity little number. It's from a favourite brewery of mine, Turning Point, up in Knaresborough in Yorkshire, previous Brewery of the Year winners. And it is the Zing that should not be a Pineapple Paloma Gose. It is collab. I didn't realise until I brought it out of session. Actually, it's a collab with Black Iris Brewery in Nottingham. A brewery I've been meaning to get around to again for some time. Got some good stuff on their website. Just had a quick look. Also had a quick look at what exactly a Paloma is. Apparently, it's a cocktail, a tequila-based cocktail. This drink is most commonly prepared by mixing tequila, lime juice, and a grapefruit-flavored soda, such as grapefruit. Oh dear, I can see how it crosses over into beer. Uh, a grapefruit soda such as Fresca. What? I'm not a big fan of grapefruit, but anyway, a grapefruit flavoured soda. Is there any? I don't know. Never heard of that, but there you go. Served on the rocks with a lime wedge. Adding salt to the rim of the glass is also an option. Well, obviously lends itself to a beer and to a gosa. Let's get it in a glass and see how much grapefruit we get out of it, to be fair. I'm going to put it in a cocktail glass. Never heard of a Paloma cocktail. But it's pouring out. Well, it's definitely pineapple grapefruit colour, kind of milk coloured, but proper clear. I love that kind of settle. Quite a thick foamy head on that. Really, really clear, light, kind of golden amber colour. Looks interesting. It's a bit cold today, so I don't expect to get much on the aroma. Nose is slightly blocked, and indeed I don't. I'm sure there's some fruitiness in there somewhere, but let's get straight to the taste. Cheers. Wow. Yeah, there's some zinginess to that. Some good fruit zing. A little bit of sherbetiness that I always get off of a fruited gose. That's quite nice. That's yeah, definitely got the fruity notes. Not massively pineapple. Not massively kind of. I'm expecting lilt when you say grapefruit and pineapple. Um, there is a kind of bitterness on the back end of that. It's meant to be there. It's that kind of drying grapefruit note on the end of it. There's a sherbety zinginess on the front end, which I quite like, which is making me go back for more, trying to find more flavours. Stickiness coming through now, kind of almost marmalade. Do you have pineapple marmalade? Kind of pineapple, kind of jammy, sweet stickiness as well. But then it goes back through that sherbetiness onto a kind of, yeah, kind of drying bitterness. It's not unpleasant. It's not smashing out the grapefruit, which is great for my palate. Happy with that. It's only 3.6%, so it's quite a decent afternoon livener. I'll start on a sour or put it midway through a session. This is just an afternoon, not a session beer. I mean, you could session it, I suppose, but I think that kind of fruitiness would go a bit too much. I wouldn't want more than one or two bites of it. I picked it up off a Turning Point order uh, back end of 23 last year. Uh, Probably did the same amount of Turning Point orders as usual. But this one just, yeah, looked a bit interesting. I do like pineapple as a fruit, and it is quite interesting in beer. You get very, very success with it, but Yeah, that's a nice little one to slip in to start with. Like I say 3.6%. There's a good pineapple cubes. That's what I'm getting. There was definite pineapple cubes coming through there, but without the sugar. Never had pineapple cubes without sugar, but that's what I'm getting. It is a sourness. It's verging on a bit too much sour for me, my palate, but it's not mouth puckeringly sour. It's that kind of bitter, grapefruity kind of sour. But the pineapple kind of rounds it off and brings it all back together. It's quite an interesting one. It's one that I did do a series a while back of beer cocktails, but then my beer cocktails are basically around amaretto, so I could add that to it. That would be a nice amaretto sour. But yeah, I could because it's light enough. I'd do a beer cocktail with that, add it to some other spirits just to make it a little bit, pepper it up a little bit. It's got the zing, it's got the fruit notes, it's got the sherbet, it's got the sour. That would work pretty well in a cocktail, or on its own as it does with a beer, because that's not lasting long in a glass for a 10-minute review. Um, yeah, I like that one. Another cheeky little one from Turning Point with Black Iris in Nottingham. I say, I do need to get onto their beers a bit more. I had one a long time ago on its own. I haven't been back since. I do need to get onto them. But there you go. Cheeky little beer review. I'm in Disco, Rasco and Disco beer review. Let me know what you think. Pineapple Ghost is a tool today for you. Let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe and all that jazz. Help the channel grow. And see you for the next one. In the meantime, cheers and enjoy the beers. Although, funnily enough, it does taste a lot more cocktail like out of that shape of glass. Definitely a lot more grapefruit to it on the back end as well. I say glass is plastic, but you know. Cheers.